Hey, this is Ralph, and in this video I want to talk a little bit about the anchor tag and the relationship attribute. Okay, so the relationship attribute for the anchor tag, so I'm over here at the specs for HTML 5.2 over at the W3C, so I'm looking at the anchor element, and I'm looking at the list of global attributes, and specifically the REL, or relationship attribute. And I'm guilty of not using this one probably as much as I should, but it came up with a web page the other day, so I just want to kind of mention a couple things you can do with this. So if I look at the relationship attribute, we'll see some various choices. Now, a lot of you might be familiar with the relation attribute, especially when using it with your style tag. So in my head section, if I had a link tag, I might use an REL attribute as part of relating an external style sheet. And this is where I use it practically all of the time. However, the relationship attribute can also be used in an anchor tag, and several of these link types focus specifically on use with anchor tags or hyperlinks. Don't confuse the link element with the anchor tag, which is a hyperlink element. Okay, so there's a number of different choices here. Some of these are more appropriate for a link tag versus an anchor tag, but just so we can see how a couple of these might work, notice the sequential link types down here, next and previous. I bet there's a lot of situations where you and I have worked on web pages where these could have come in handy. So you're making an anchor tag to another document. I'll just say page 5. I could do REL equals next, and I could put in the word next, and I'll just put a little manual arrow there. Okay. So the word next is going to be the hyperlink. Maybe I've got an arrow. By the way, this could also be an image with an arrow. And I'm kind of trying to lead the visitor through a series of pages that are connected. These could be catalog pages in a store, something like that. I'm browsing an IKEA catalog online. Well, the relationship of the hyperlinked page to the current page is, well, it's the next page. And of course, similarly, if I'm on page 4, we could have page 3, and the relationship would be previous. So it gives extra information to the user agent. Remember, the user agent is our browser. So this isn't necessarily going to be more helpful to the visitor unless the visitor has a special need for this. So, for instance, somebody with a disability, perhaps a vision disability, their oral browser or their Braille browser may rely on this extra content in order to help navigate the website. So next and previous are really good examples of something you might start using sooner rather than later. Here's another one that might pop up quite a bit. Link type no follow. So where this would come into play, say I've got a hyperlink, and I'll put it in my gallery. Okay. The no follow value for the relationship attribute is really a specific piece of information for any kind of crawler or a spider that might be tracking your page or following your page to add it to a search engine. And for various reasons, you do not want that search engine to follow this particular hyperlink to start indexing that particular page. Now, of course, you could control that on the page itself. On the gallery page, I could have a meta robots that had no index. But I could also take care of it right here. Because remember, that's basically the way spiders work, is they go to a web page, they start to record information, and then they follow all of the hyperlinks by default. So I'm telling this browser, I do not want you to follow this particular hyperlink. I don't want this page indexed for some reason. So the relationship attribute has a number of aspects or a number of features you can apply which are going to enhance the anchor tag. And then, of course, we can see that there are similar things. I want to show that this particular anchor tag is to the author of the article or a document. I want to show that this anchor tag is an ideal bookmark. I want to show that this anchor tag is a help information, a frequently asked questions, something like that. So that way, other users with those needs can get extra information about the anchor tag. And last but not least, let me go ahead and point this out. I'll go ahead and click on link type search. And we'll see on the 5.2 specs that the link type search can be used with the link tag, the anchor tag, and the area tag. And if you haven't used the area tag before, we'll check that out soon enough. But the area tag is a supporting element for an image map. So if I had a large image and sections of that image were clickable hotspots, I would use the area tag to mark out the shape and the size of that particular hotspot. So you can think of the area tag as an alternative to the anchor tag. It does create a clickable link area when doing an image map. So you'll find that a lot of these link types that work for the anchor tag will also work for the area tag. Okay, so for your next page, start considering where you're going to use the relationship attribute.